And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday. It took me a second. I hate when the day doesn't correspond to like the day's number. So today is Friday, April 1st. So we're jumping off in April, but we're closing out the work week on the 1st of the month. I hate that. I need the first to be at the beginning. But anyway, it's April 1st, April Fool's Day, folks. I don't have any of those jokes for you. That's not for me. I don't like April Fool's jokes. They annoy me. So you don't get any of that here. We just get to break down a 10-game NBA slate for you guys. So it should be a good one. Yeah, Larry, long pause for the date. The date was easy. The day of the week is hard. See, I just quickly eyeball the date on the screen. That part is simple. Remembering what the day of the week is always really difficult to me because it's always the same thing. But anyway, before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Only place that you can get updates to, well, nothing at this point because I don't post updates right now. But you know what I mean. Playoffs we will. Yeah, too bad the Hardaway announcement wasn't today. It should be an April Fool's joke. It would make a lot more sense to me. Man, I did not have Chad all happy yesterday, that's for sure. But yeah, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're signing up at the sponsor. That would be Prize Picks. Go to awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo or click the link in the description. Get yourself one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum and some other goodies. You get a deposit bonus. We've got the free player props tool, which should help you out. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Now, all right, let's get this started. I'm really excited for this because I got a new coffee creamer, and I'm pretty pumped to try it out here. So, I've got my coffee. I hope that you guys do as well. Whether you got a coffee, tea, water, beers, vodka, potentially. If you've got a food product of some sort, Pop-Tarts, toaster strudels are fine as well. You know, hot dogs, chicken nugs, slices of pizza. Or if you're just hitting a J, either direction. Whatever way you're going, it's all cool with me. Cheers to you guys. Clink. Rise and grind, everybody. Ooh, that's good. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not gonna lie. That is pretty good. Pretty good. Microphone. All right, let's get into it. Man, that's good. A good mocha flavor. The Toronto Raptors are 10-point favorites in Orlando, 218 total. And by all accounts, we know what's happening here. So Khem Birch is now not a part of the rotation for the Raptors. But I don't know if anybody's out. So it's still just Flynn. Khem Birch was not a part of the rotation. So we're going to need to take him out. And remember, we got to get out of here sort of early, probably like 7:45. So we got to make sure we keep up that same pace. Now, that doesn't make sense. Because Birch played. Where the hell are those minutes? That's not the right game. Let's go to the 30th. So that I could actually look at the correct game. Just so I'm clear. Okay, so Birch played so he was a part of the rotation and then just never saw the floor again. That's slightly different. So I think we leave him out there now. We go 36 Van Vliet. We go 33 to Trent. Should probably be 34, but that's fine. 34 to Anunoby, 38 to Siakam, 34 to Barnes. Thad's minutes are fine. Precious can come down a bit. Boucher can go up a bit. None of that matters, though. We know the guys that we're going to get to. And speaking of, I need to make a couple changes. Boop, boop. There we go. Toronto looks pretty good. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by that. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised when I say that I like Fred VanVleet either, but, you know, that's where we're at. Now we go to Orlando. And for the Magic, what do we have? Q-tag on Wendell Carter, no Jalen Suggs. So that should be pretty easy to deal with. Carter was out that last game. He played on Monday. What's the injury? I don't even remember now. Left wrist sprain. Okay, so I'm going to assume that he's playing, at which point we're going to pop him back in for 30 minutes. Sent appeal. Congrats on the first place finish. Didn't notice that. That's really cool. It's always good to see. All right, let's take Mo Wagner down to 20. We got to get Bamba to 24. And then we can start cutting the minutes of Schofield and Iggy Brazdeikis and Jeff Doughton. Anthony's minutes are fine. Fultz's minutes are fine. We know what those guys are doing. Chuma can probably stay at 28. Franz Wagner can stay at... Honestly, Franz Wagner should probably be 30. Yeah, we're going to make Franz Wagner 30. And we're going to cut down... And who's going to leave this rotation? Because that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they did run an 11-man rotation on Monday, which is what I have in now. Maybe the assumption should be that I don't go to 30 on Wendell Carter Jr., which I think is fine. Here we go. 240 minutes. Let's look at Orlando. Well, let's look at Toronto to start. And right out of the gate, we get Fred VanVleet on FanDuel for 7,300. Clearly, I'm going straight back to that. God, that coffee's good. I'm going to be really pissed when it's gone. Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent, Anunoby, all really solid options on FanDuel. Like, they'll tumble a bit, but they're certainly really nice. VanVleet's the only thing. VanVleet on FanDuel is the only core piece. VanVleet looks fine on DraftKings, too. On Orlando, no real priorities here. Maybe you get to Chumo, Kiki, or RJ Hampton, but I think the most likely scenario is you're avoiding most of these teams. But as you see, a lot of Toronto on FanDuel. 5 guys on Toronto better than the best guy on Orlando. 4 guys on Toronto on DraftKings better than the best guy on Orlando. And honestly, I could probably take him. 26 minutes for Hampton seems fine. So let's go to game number 2. Revenge narrative game. Dallas Mavericks, 8.5-point favorites in Washington. 220 total. And this is obviously Porzingis and Dinwiddie going back to their respective places. Now, for Dallas, Dinwiddie's available. Everybody else that's normally available is available. So I think everything that I have in here is probably good. I might want to give Dinwiddie 1 additional minute. I feel fine for Bullock's minutes. Honestly, you can make a case they should be higher. I'll take 1 from Bertans. I'll give that to Dinwiddie. Clearly, I like Luka. Dorian Finney-Smith's minutes are fine. $32 for Brunson feels fine. Powell and Maxey. Should that be 25 for Powell? Yeah, 23 for Maxey. That'll work. It's basically just Luka on Dallas, but we'll dig into that in a second. Let's go to Washington. I do not know the status. Well, I don't know the status of anybody for Washington because why would I pay attention to the Wizards? Still no Kuzma, which means everything that we've had as of late is going on. And that means I think these rotations are pretty simple. Kispert and KCP play the big minutes. Porzingis plays, 30 to 31. Nothing looks good on the Wizards. Like, nobody stands out. So game number 2, Dallas Mavericks. Clearly Luka. 11-3 on FanDuel. 12-1 on DraftKings. Like him on both. Prefer him on FanDuel. And then it basically falls off a cliff. Maybe you can get to shots of like DFS or Bullock on FanDuel and DraftKings, but there's nothing in this game outside of Luka. And I don't like anything on the Wizards. You guys will see that in a second. But, Dallas, slowest team in basketball. Wizards, 21st in pace. It's just not that great of a game. As we add in game number 2, you can see Luka gets to that number 2 spot, but everybody else is already like near the bottom of the entire list. So they are going to get pushed out completely. What do we got in here? 58 viewers, 27 likes. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Let's try to climb that number a bit. Oh, boy. Well, that's a line. The Indiana Pacers are 15-point underdogs in Boston. 224 total. This does not look good for the Pacers. Who's in, who's out? Q tag on Brissett, Goga, Isaiah Jackson, Malcolm Brogdon. So, the same thing that we normally get, I guess. We had no Isaiah Jackson on Wednesday. We had no Brogdon. We had no Brissett. I'm going to assume that Brissett plays. I'm not going to assume Brogdon plays. I'm going to assume Jackson plays. So it's going to be the same rotation that I have in here. I just need to move some stuff around. So we're going to get Terry Taylor. Let's see. We're going to take Lance's minutes down to 12. We're going to take Brissett down to 28. We're going to take Dwayne The Rock Washington down to 16. That gets me to 14 minutes for Terry Taylor, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but who the hell else? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Taylor's not going to play those minutes if Brissett is in. That makes more sense. If Brissett's playing, Terry Taylor's not getting massive minutes. So, and Jackson. Okay, so that's where those extra minutes for Taylor will come from. I think Indy looks fine. When I say I think Indy looks fine, I mean in that we're probably only trying to play Halliburton and Hield if all of the guys are back. Now for Boston, clearly a good matchup, but they probably are going to blow out the Pacers. Everybody's available that could be available. Obviously, Time Lord, not that guy. 32 minutes for Horford seems fine. Tice as the backup center. Did they play alongside each other? They did. Okay, perfect. That's exactly how I had it projected. Smart at 32. Feels fine to me. Pritchard at 16. Neesmith didn't play. Okay, so that's the key takeaway here. They went 8-man rotation. That's interesting. A bump up Marcus. Nah, actually, I'm not. Just because of the game. 35 for Brown, 36 for Tatum. All that feels fine for this matchup. Shorty stuff. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. All right, let's look at this one. Indiana, game number 3. It's Halliburton and Hield if you're getting to anything. Hield on FanDuel is the best option. Halliburton on FanDuel is a close second. Not a lot here, though. No surprise. I mean, it's still Boston. And then on the Boston side, Tatum on FanDuel, 9,400. Jaylen Brown on DraftKings, 8K. Tatum on DraftKings, Horford on DraftKings. Not a lot of major priorities there. Tatum is fine, but he'll be on like the outside of the sort of bests. So like Tatum third right now, but 2 full points behind Luka relative to salary. Buddy Hield gets to 7th on FanDuel. So there's not a lot of guarantees. Now on DraftKings, it's a little bit tighter, but they're going to end up blending in by the time we're done. Brown and Tatum go to 2-3. Horford goes to 5th. Hield is in 8th. I expect that to get pushed down a little bit, but these guys look a little bit better on DK. Like games like Sacramento, Houston are probably just going to unearth more good plays. Same for Phoenix and Memphis. Memphis missing like 6 dudes. This is where it's going to push everybody down. So we'll start with Sacramento, Houston. For the Kings, normal injury stuff. So we're not really making too many changes here. Damian Jones played 34 minutes. That's certainly interesting to see. It's also very interesting to see that Alex Len doesn't appear to be backing anything up. So I'm going to take him down to like 9 minutes. Give Josh Jackson 9 minutes. 30 for Trey Lyles is fine. 30 for DiVincenzo is fine. Davion Mitchell for 38 seems fine. Barnes at 34 seems fine. So that's Sacramento. This has been pretty easy so far. I guess Justin Holiday's minutes can come down a little bit too. Yeah, this is pretty easy. I don't have changes to make or rate changes. I do have to sneeze though. Whew, good sneeze. Then we go to Houston. We already know that those 3 guys for Houston are out, but that happened before the last game. So I think that we can continue on with what we normally think a Houston rotation will be. And we've got the Q tag on Şengün. Clearly, we just have to assume that he is in, even though he did not play on Wednesday. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't know how much I have to change here. I guess we bump up Garrison Matthews to like 28. Jalen Green just going to play a little bit more. He certainly might. If I give Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. too many more minutes, it's going to get dicey around these parts. Although I don't have many other guys that I want to make changes to here. Tate for 27, Josh Christopher for 26. I feel pretty safe here. Houston is going to be a problem. Houston, we have a problem. That kind of joke. All right, Sacramento. Sacramento is very much a FanDuel team for today. Trey Lyles is really good at 5,400. He's 6K on DraftKings. Still fine on DraftKings, but not the same priority. Barnes on FanDuel is 5,300. That's $800 cheaper than he is on DraftKings. That looks good to me. Davion Mitchell, FanDuel, 7,300. He's 8K on DraftKings. Just better across the board on FanDuel than they are on DK. For Houston, Şengün, FanDuel, 5,700, power forward center eligible. Tate, FanDuel, 4K. On DraftKings, he's 5,200. I mean, these FanDuel prices are insane. On DraftKings, Porter, Matthews, Green, all look solid. There's a lot more to like here for Houston just across the board, but what a change. Look at this top list now as we add in game number 4. How much Houston and Sacramento takes over this list. Bang. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th now, all on FanDuel, are all just from Houston and Sacramento. The only guy that didn't get passed were VanVleet and Doncic. And Şengün and Doncic are very similar. There's just obviously a higher raw point ceiling out of Luka. On DK, we get Kevin Porter Jr. into that number 2 spot, basically tied up there with Luka. And then we add in Lyles and Garrison Matthews on DraftKings. There's a lot still to like here on DK, but it's not as concentrated as it is on FanDuel. And it's going to get even more ridiculous when we do game number 5 here. Phoenix, 7.5-point favorites in Memphis, 229 total. Guessing we're getting JaVale back and no more Biyombo. Miles, I am super ready for some playoff basketball. I cannot wait. Oh, Cam Johnson's back too. Okay, so we take away Bismack Biyombo's minutes. We give most of them to JaVale. We get Bridges back. Is Torrey Craig the guy that's going to leave the rotation here? Or is it Shamet? Because we got to get Cam Johnson back up to like 20 minutes. So I'm going to say maybe it's Campaign loses some time. I need to clear up 13 minutes. Those minutes are going away from Shamet, that's for sure. We're going to take Torrey Craig down to like 14. That gets me where I need to be. That'll work. That'll work. I don't think I have to change any rates for this Phoenix team. It's not like Cam Johnson makes anybody else's rates change. And now we get to Memphis. And for those of you that aren't aware of what's going on in Memphis today, most of this team isn't playing. So clearly, we don't have Ja Morant. And Killian Tilly is out. But doubtful tags on Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, and Steven Adams. So we're missing 4 of the 5 starters. So I'm clearly going to scratch this entire rotation, and we're going to build this one out from the baseline. DeAnthony Melton, I assume, is going to play massive minutes. I'm going to start everybody that I think is going to be a starter that normally doesn't play a lot of minutes. I'm going to go 28 minutes as that guy, and then spread it out once I know how many more minutes I have left. So we're going to go 28 minutes to DeAnthony Melton. And I actually need to get this player list. So let's do this. We'll do this. No, just how did I normally do this? Like that? All right, we need to get that smaller too. This is going to be the most important one. I want to make sure getting this rotation right is very, very important today. All right, perfect. Perfect. 28 for Melton. Dylan Brooks is just going to play his normal run. So I think 32 minutes for Brooks makes the most sense because he normally plays 30 minutes. We're going to get Brandon Clark, I assume, starting at center, or technically the forward. No, center. So we'll give Clark 28 minutes. Zaire Williams, I assume, is going to start like he normally does. We're going to go 28 minutes. And then I guess Slow-Mo is probably the guy that picks up 28 minutes. Then we're going to say that Tillman is the backup center. He gets 28. We go 28-20. Conchar. Ooh, Conchar could be starting here too. Conchar, the backup point guard, or is that going to be Culver? How big is Konchar's assist rate? Not big. All right. All the rates got to go away, too. Oh, man. Is Konchar going to start? Not that I think it matters, but no, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. All right. So we're going to get Konchar in. I'm going to say the backup point guard minutes for right away. And now we need to get Culver, Santi Aldama, maybe Tyrell Terry. So let's say that Culver plays 16 minutes. I'm going to say that Aldama plays 20 minutes. That still leaves me 20 minutes. Shaq Harrison basically hasn't played for Memphis. I got Brooks in, Melton, Williams, Clark, Anderson, Konchar. Culver makes 7. Aldama makes 8. Tillman makes 9. Is Tyrell Terry with the G League? That's the next question. Where's Memphis? This one's tricky, guys. Where's Memphis hiding? That's not the right injury report. Why is it taking me to a February injury report? Like, I would give a shit about that. All right. At this particular moment on Memphis, Tyrell Terry is with the Grizzlies. He is not with the G League affiliate. Okay. Good to know. I don't know if that matters, because he could obviously be a backup point guard and they can go a little bit deeper. Didn't even know they had Shaq Harrison, if I'm being honest. But I gotta move him from whatever team I had him on before. Oh, not Joe Harris, not Gary Harris, not Tobias Harris, not Harrison Barnes. Shaq Harrison. Got it. Now we're talking. Now, this is the most difficult spot because getting this right, look, there's going to be a lot of value on Memphis today. We want to give it our best shot. Now, we're going to have to make changes when we get the inevitable starting lineup difference. The question becomes, do we think that the other starter, do we think they go 10 guys? On Wednesday, they went, what? 10. I'm going to assume they do that again. And this is where I think I'm going to go a little bit higher in minutes to some of these guys. Maybe we take Zaire to 30. I don't know about that. We'll take Culver to 18. I'm going to take Shaq Harrison to 18. I don't think either of those things are going to make a difference. No, they don't. So I think with this relatively pessimistic setup, we're going to be all right. I'm not even confident we're going to be able to get rates for this team. Like, clearly we have to take Ja off. But if I take, let's just say we take Ja off and Desmond Bane off. Like, I don't, like, Tyus is still out there, but he doesn't do a ton of stuff. Melton's usage rate when those guys aren't on the floor jumps to 24. I guess I got to take Jaren Jackson off too. And that's where we're going to run out of sample. Because Jackson's got a 30% usage rate when those guys aren't around. All right, so Melton, 25% usage rate. So it's actually something I got to bump up. Dylan Brooks has only played 138 minutes without those three guys on the floor this year. 30% usage rate. So I need to bump Melton up to 25. I need to keep Brooks in at 30. Nobody else gets major usage bumps except for Jarrett Culver. I don't need to change. guessing I want to look at assist rates. So let's pull those rates quickly. I knew we were going to have to spend some time on some team now that we're at the top of the hour. I don't know how many people are in here right now, but go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't done it. Seems like the perfect time to do so. Just spitballing here. That's what it feels like. Oh, this doesn't have Brooks in it. That's so dumb. So dumb. All right. Let's look at rates. So we got the 2 usage rates out of the way. I don't think that I need to change anybody else, but Melton's assist rate does go up slightly. Rebounding rate certainly goes down. Dillon Brooks, I can't begin to care. It's not like he's going to pass. Kyle Anderson passes. Doesn't pass any more than you would expect. Still just Tyus Jones in this scenario. And if I take Tyus off, that's going to screw everything. So I think the rates are all fine for Memphis. So as we look at Phoenix, who, don't forget, gets a giant pace up spot. No priorities for Phoenix, but a lot of like meh options. Booker, Bridges, Paul, Ayton, all perfectly fine, but not priorities. Memphis, on the other hand, look at all that green. Whoo, boy. All right, Brandon Clark, both sites, exceptional. Kyle Anderson, assuming he's starting, both sites, exceptional. Melton, both sites, exceptional. Brooks, both sites, exceptional. You ready for this, guys? This is what happens when we add Game 5. Look at that. New top 4 on DraftKings. Clark, number 1 by a mile. Anderson, number 2. Melton, number 3. Dillon Brooks, number 4. All of these guys are at least 2 points clear of Luka. Brandon Clark, if he's playing 28 minutes today, has a 72% chance to hit his boom. His target score at 4K is 30, and I got him projected for 35. On FanDuel, we see Brandon Clark and Kyle Anderson jump to the top 2 spots. Brooks and Melton a little bit further down because they're priced up a bit. Still great plays. But Brandon Clark is your number 1 play for today. Not even particularly close. And we are at the halfway point. So just to double check it, we've got 78 viewers and 56 likes. That's pretty good. I'm a little surprised how light we are, but it is a Friday. I get it. And we go to the Clippers at the Bucks, and this is 2 teams on a back-to-back, which not really helpful on a day like today. I have no idea who's going to be available for the Clippers, so I'm just going to make a couple changes based on yesterday's rotation. I have no reason to suspect that that anybody's going to sit on a back-to-back. If Paul George's injury was lower body, I'd be a little bit more nervous. But for right now, I am going to leave basically the same rotation I had yesterday. Although, I mean, these guys just play weird-ass minutes. So Zubats and Hartenstein played alongside each other for 2 minutes. Yes. Oh, they went to OT. Okay. Makes way more sense now. Batum played more. Marcus Morris played way more than I was expecting. Hartenstein and Zubats at 23 minutes apiece makes sense. 32 for Paul George makes sense. Kennard saw his minutes go down, but I think 26 still makes sense. Covington at 23 seems fine. Now we can give the 1 minute to Amir Coffey. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. Like, I would imagine people are going to sit for the Clippers. There's nothing we could do right now. Same situation for Milwaukee. Nothing we could do right now on a back-to-back. just have to assume that if no one's been ruled out already, we can't guess. So I'm going same Milwaukee rotation that I had yesterday. We saw no Serge Ibaka. We got more Wes Matthews. Portis ended up playing 30 minutes, which is interesting to see. So they went, what, 9-man? Yeah. Who didn't play as much? Okay. Lopez. We can do something like that for Milwaukee. Look, this is a game that we're both going to have to pay attention, or we're all going to have to pay attention to, because the good news is there's not a lot to like here either way. If Reggie Jackson plays, it appears that he's playing more minutes again. Looks really good on both sites. 6,100 on FanDuel, 6,400 on DraftKings. You're probably not playing anybody else from the Clippers until we open up value. For Milwaukee, it's Giannis and probably nothing else. Giannis 11-8 on FanDuel, 11-7 on DraftKings. As we look at Game 6, here's the context. Look at all that white now. This is how not interesting this game is. Giannis and Reggie Jackson on FanDuel are in the 4-5 spots, and they look really good. If Reggie Jackson's playing, the minutes are up. That's just a spot you want to be. I shouldn't have to explain Giannis either, who, honestly, is just as good, if not better, than Luka today, depending on if you have the money. On DraftKings, same situation. Giannis hops into the 3rd spot. Reggie Jackson to 6. It's fine. Nobody else around with any sort of value. So, Game 7. 4 to go. Oh, boy. The Detroit Pistons are 4-point favorites in Oklahoma City. Pistons on a back-to-back, by the way. I have no idea who's going to be playing in this back-to-back. We did get Corey Joseph yesterday. For the Pistons, do we think Corey Joseph is sitting? Is Bagley hurt? Is Frank Jackson hurt? Where are these injury designations coming from? Did anybody watch Detroit last night? Do they know if people got hurt? Bagley left early. So I think we're going to assume that Bagley's not going to play. Corey Joseph, I don't think that I'm going to take out, though. And then Frank Jackson, is he going to sit on a back-to-back? Has he been sitting on back-to-backs? I mean, he hasn't been in. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Yeah, he just hasn't been playing. All right. Yeah, Bagley's not going to play. So I feel pretty comfortable there. Which probably means that Kelly Olynyk's going to play more. Take Kelly Olynyk up to 26. Oh, shit. Okay, so that becomes a real problem then. Joseph in for 22. We're going to get Rodney Magruder back in the rotation. Livers played 20. Take him up to 19. That allows me to go to 16 to Magruder. I actually don't have to make any further changes. We still get Bay. We still get Cunningham. I don't want to make any changes to Killian Hayes. So I think just going to 26 on Kelly Olynyk is going to be fine. That's Detroit. On OKC, I'm so tired of this garbage. Oklahoma City Thunder, no Trey Mann. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they have 8 guys. Fuck this team, man. Forget this team, honestly. Just gross. Just truly gross. Wait. Hold on. Now I understand. I was like, where are the games from yesterday? Who did Detroit play yesterday? Embiid, I guess. So 31. Is it reversed? It's reversed. Philly, Detroit. Doesn't matter. Not even there. I do want to see that rotation. Philly and the Pistons. Okay, so Bagley went out here. Chat, you're making me make some changes. I'm going to bump him up to 24. Something like that. That, I think, makes some more sense. Now, we'll go 25 and 25. That I like a little bit more. Now we'll do OKC. OKC having 8 guys in a tank matchup here is insane. All right, so, oh, God. All right, so Maladon is going to play a lot. I'm going to go 34. I'm starting this entire rotation from scratch, too. Maladon in for 34 minutes. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, best I could do is 18 here. Sarr seems good for like 28. And then we get Roby for, I think, 34. No Baisley. So then we need to go 32 to Poku. And then 34 to Wiggins. 34 here. And then Lindy Waters for 26. I mean, that seems about right. Yeah, Larry. Crispy, what's up? Larry, yes. I use 5x plus 10 in this show. I change it as I get closer to lock as the slate changes. But I use 5x plus 10 while we're in here. Same principle. Calculating it with projection and standard deviation. Okay, so Pistons. Kelly Olynyk, if we assume Kelly Olynyk's going to play 25 minutes, he's one of the best plays of the day. I still think Saddiq Bey is exceptional. His price went down on FanDuel by $100. He should look a lot better against Oklahoma City. And then Cade is all right. And then we go to this stupid Thunder team. Isaiah Roby's great on both sites. I still don't know how to say Krejci, but that's how I'm going to say it. He looks really good on DK. Aaron Wiggins looks really good on DK. I mean, look, they've got 8 guys. You're just going to play a lot of this team, and you're going to play the ones that are either priced down or are good per minute dudes. But look what happens as we go to game number 7. Adding some color here. Saddiq Bey hops into the number 3 spot on FanDuel, very firmly at the top. Kelly Olynyk does the same, hops into the number 5 spot. Olynyk is on 4 on DraftKings, ahead of Isaiah Roby. And just like, here's the key piece here. Just in case you're not confident in the Olynyk minutes. Let's say I go to 23 on Olynyk and I give Braxton Key 20. Like, we still get Kelly Olynyk as the number 9 guy on DraftKings at 3,700 and 20th on FanDuel, which I actually think makes a little bit more sense. But like, we don't get Key anywhere. So let's move forward with this estimation, at least as of right now. So we're gonna get point guard, Cade, Bey, question mark, Stewart. Yeah, so like whoever starts, whether it's Olynyk, Livers, Key, that's the guy that we're probably gonna give like 24 minutes to. Let's go to something like that. Yeah, like I can't get Key anywhere because he's not a great per minute dude. Well, 0.95 is not crazy. We just need a starter. 3 games to go. Portland Trailblazers, 15.5-point underdogs to the 10th seeded San Antonio Spurs. Incredible. Truly incredible. For Portland, I assume it's the same pile of garbage that's been available for the past couple days. Yeah, no Winslow, no Watford, no Hart. Didi Louzada back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they actually have 11 guys. Somehow they have a whole other roster of garbage to put out here. So Didi Louzada, 10 minutes seems okay. Reggie Perry is on this team. I forgot about that. He played. Elijah Hughes did not. So let's go ahead and get Reggie Perry back out there for the backup center minutes behind Eubanks, because they split 48 minutes. 22 for Chris Dunn, 33 for Brandon Williams. We're going to make that 32. Ellaby for 30, Macklemore for 26. Greg Brown, probably going to play a little bit more. We'll take him up to 26. Take Blevins up to 16. Keon Johnson in for 30. Take him down to 26. No, that doesn't make sense. 28. I think we're all right with Portland. And luckily for us, they don't look all that great. San Antonio, on the other hand, DeJounte is going to smack this team around aggressively. Okay, so they're just... San Antonio's going for it. Starting five of Murray, Keldon Johnson, Vassell, Pirtle, Jay Rich. I'm going to assume that is a rotation they are looking to go to. They're going basically 9-man rotation. Little bit of Jock Landale. You know, Lonnie Walker played a bit less than I would have expected. Primo played a bit less than I would have expected. So let's get Josh Richardson up to, that's 26. That's 28. Vassell in for 31. Honestly feel like I can make that 32. I think we could go something like that. Oh, this is going to be wild. All right, so Portland. No real priorities. Greg Brown, FanDuel, 3,700 stands out as a solid price. Brandon Williams, 6,900 on DraftKings is a solid price. No priorities, though, for Portland. For San Antonio, DeJounte Murray is certainly a priority. 10-8 on FanDuel, 11-4 on DraftKings. Devin Vassell on DK is 5,300. I think that looks really nice. Jakob Pirtle on DraftKings, not a problem either. As we add in game number 8, we'll see Murray hopped into the number 6 spot. Looks just as good. I mean, good luck separating Giannis, DeJounte Murray, and Luka today at the top end. I have them as basically all three exact same plays relative to salary. Very little separating those pay-up options. On DraftKings, though, we see Murray come into the 10 spot pretty easily to me behind Giannis. Much more similar to Luka, although I'd say Murray, because he's saving $700, just looks better than Luka. Now, 2 games to go. Minnesota-Denver could pop interestingly for Denver. This could be a good spot for Jokic. So as we look at Minnesota first, and again, we got 2 games left. We have 119 viewers, 70 likes. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It'll probably be the last time I have to ask. For Minnesota, same team we've normally had. So I don't have a ton of changes that I want to make here. Should probably give Towns an extra minute. We get Beverly in for 30. Doesn't appear that he's doing that all that frequently. We'll take him down to 29. Give McLaughlin another minute. I got Noel in at 20. I'd probably make a case that I should give Jalen Noel another minute off of Beverly. So let's do that. Actually take Beverly to 27. That'll get Noel up to 22. That's about as good as it's going to get. Actually, 6. Now it's as good as it's going to get. I mean, as per usual, I really like Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell. WS. Sorry to hear about your grandmother, man. 97 years is a hell of a life. We should all be so lucky. Denver. Looking like no changes to be made here for Denver, so they just get the benefit of a giant pace-up spot against Minnesota. Always helpful. Bones was the guy that got the bigger minutes bump this last time. Don't think that that's any sort of like long-term thing. Is Aaron Gordon playing a little bit more as of late? 4 straight games north of 30. Yeah, we're going to have to give him at least one more minute, get him up to 32. Will Barton also playing a little bit of an increased run. We'll get him up. I think the rest of this will be fine. If JaMychal Green doesn't play, we just get Devon Reed. So I'm going to leave Green in for right now. In theory, I could give Aaron Gordon more minutes, but I don't totally trust it yet. But I think everything else looks fine here. So, game 9. Brandon, yeah, I totally forgot about Rivers' phantom ejection. That's why he got a little bit of extra run. I totally forgot that he got the gate for not doing anything whatsoever. Anthony Edwards, stop me if you've heard this before. FanDuel and DraftKings stands out as my favorite play from Minnesota. 6,800 and 7,400 with shooting guard small forward. And like, I don't have him projected crazy. He's a 1.02 guy in my model. He's at 1.04 for the last 30 days. I've got him at 1.08 for this game. Seems reasonable to me. You know, Denver's a mid-tier pace team, so like it's not all that bad for Minnesota. And then when we go to Denver, Jokic, but he's going to be behind the other pay-up options, even at a 1.77 fantasy point per minute rate in a pace-up spot because the price is high. He only gets center eligibility, and he's probably less likely to play. Like, he's not going to play the same amount of minutes as everybody else. Still looks good. I just think he's like he's not as good. I could outline it here. As I add in game number 9, see Edwards go to the number 3 spot. Russell go to the number 6 spot on FanDuel. Jokic is in at 16. But, you know, he's like a point behind Luka. We get DeJounte and Giannis. Like, Jokic is there on FanDuel. It's close. On DraftKings, though, it's a little bit further back. You know, you get it here. Still at point behind Luka. Way behind Giannis. And way behind Murray, too. 2 full points. It's Anthony Edwards season, though. As it normally is for me. And now we close it out. Did I refresh Yahoo salaries for today? Phoenix, Memphis, Clippers, Milwaukee. Yeah, I did. Final game. The New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll start here. 234 total. Lakers, I mean, honestly, season's sort of on the line. This is one of those games they can't afford to lose. If they want to make the playoffs, they got to have this one. Now, for the Pelicans, everybody's available. So this last time out, we saw Joe Val play 35 minutes. Willie Hernan-Gomez not in the rotation. Jackson Hayes, I assume, was basically the backup center. And then some, but not a lot of some. So that was Wednesday. Let's look at this Pelicans rotation. Because obviously they're playing Portland, so life is different. Jackson Hayes still got the start. Staggered run. No foul trouble. Didn't close the second quarter. They went to Trey Murphy. Because they were losing to this shitty Portland team. Now, Portland's going to put the tank in the fourth quarter for sure. But Joe Val, backed up by Hayes here, backed up by Hayes here. They actually went a minute or two with Larry Nance at center in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. So they are willing to go small with Nance. So we're going to say I'm going to say 31 minutes for Joval. We got to remember who they're playing. It's the Lakers. Actually, I'm going to go 32 minutes to Joval. I'm going to leave. We're going to go. We're going to say 6 minutes to Nance at the 5. Now we'll go 8 and 8. We'll go 8 minutes to Nance at the 5, 8 minutes to Hayes at the 5. I think Nance gets up to 20. I get Hayes up to, I'm going to say 24. He's just going to have an easier time getting more minutes. It's not going to matter from a DFS standpoint. Get Trey Murphy in for 15, Najee Marshall in for 14, Alvarado in for 18. Herb Jones has been playing a little bit more. We'll bump him up to 20. No, I mean 30. Guess I have Devontae Graham over projected by quite a bit. So we'll take him down to 18, I guess. That leaves me 6 extra minutes. Brandon Ingram. I can't go more than 30. I mean, he hasn't played it yet. So I guess I can get more to Trey Murphy, and that'll just make things really easy. Boom. We don't really like New Orleans, which is crazy to think about, given how good of a matchup it is against the Lakers. Now, for the Lakers, late night hammer. And I don't know their proper designations. Wait, shit. Did they play yesterday? They did, didn't they? Oh, there's no way to know any of this. I haven't seen the official word on LeBron and AD yet. I think I saw that AD was going to play and LeBron's going to play, but let me double check it. LeBron. I don't know. AD targeting today. I think I got to put both guys in. So let's cut this entire rotation. So let's say 34 minutes for Russ. I'm going to go 36 minutes to LeBron. I can't go big minutes to AD. I don't trust that dude at all. Especially with a foot injury. So I'm going to say 24 minutes for AD. I think you can get away with Dwight Howard minutes today because of Joval. So I'm going to go 18 to Dwight. We'll get Stanley Johnson in for 20. Backup point guard to DJ Augustine. Monk maintains probably 28 minutes. Melo playing minimal run. Tucker in for 20. Reeves in for 20. Should be like a final guy for 8 minutes. We'll say it's Wenyen Gabriel. Just have to make a quick tweak to rates. This will basically not matter. So in games where all three started, LeBron, Russ, Anthony Davis. We're not going to like anything here. So honestly, paying attention to it probably doesn't even matter. I don't even know if we're going to have to care who plays for the Lakers. If it's LeBron in, you get nervous because that dude will play 40 minutes even if he shouldn't. But I don't think AD, unless and it doesn't appear that his prices are set so that they should matter. I don't think AD is going to mean a damn thing today. So we get LeBron, 29.8% usage rate. Rebounding rate gets cut. We get Russ, 25.2% usage rate. Assist rate gets cut. Rebounding rate gets cut big time. And then Monk, very minimal usage rate. I am going to lock AD into 25% usage. Yeah, we are not playing anything from the Lakers. Oh, boy, this looks bad. All right, so for the Pels, I don't love the prices. Nobody looks good. No one looks good on the Pelicans to me. And no one looks good on the Lakers. Not even close. LeBron's 11K on FanDuel and 10.9 on DraftKings. I don't know how you can go to that today. Not with everybody else that exists. Russ is impossible to play. AD is 7,600 on FanDuel. AD is the guy that you can get to from the Lakers if you think that he could just show up and play 30-plus minutes. Because if AD plays 30 minutes, he could hang a ceiling score. Like, AD's legit if he plays 30 minutes at 7,600. Look how shitty this looks when I add Game 10 in. Nothing. There's not a single piece of color anywhere. No one from the Lakers, no one from the Pelicans is in the top 30 on either FanDuel or DraftKings today. If you need a reference point for this game, if LeBron James and Anthony Davis are in, other than taking shots on AD in large field GPPs, the New Orleans Pelicans Lakers game is the worst game on the slate, and it's siloed at 10:30 at night, an hour and a half after the previous game, and an hour and a half after the other 9 games tip off. This game sucks. So on that note, let's run some crunches. 145 viewers, 87 likes. For the 60-ish of you that have not yet hit the like button, let's go ahead and do that, and let's get up over 100. And then you guys should go ahead and sign up at Prize Picks using the link in the description of this video. We will start it off on FanDuel. I guess I can... Nah, I got to leave that for right now. Alrighty, FanDuel. First one up. This is perfect timing. I'm going to get out of here at 7:45. I'll chug my pre-workout. We'll go to the gym. It's going to be a good one. Alrighty, here we go. First thing up is going to be... Power rankings? Nope. Am I playing tonight? Honestly, I have no idea. Probably. All right. Optimal lineup on FanDuel. Fred VanVleet, DeAnthony Melton, Dylan Brooks, D'Angelo Russell, Giannis, Kyle Anderson, Brandon Clark, Jayshawn Tate, and Nikola Jokic. Double pay up. Certainly didn't expect the double pay up to be Jokic, Giannis, but there's that much value simply just coming from Memphis to unlock the double pay up Giannis Jokic. Whew. Yeah, SMP, that's a decent thing to point out too. I don't think they ramp his minutes up bigger than 30, which is where I have him. But if he played his normal 36, then he's certainly worth a look, but still not a priority. What a lineup there on FanDuel. Let's turn on the rando and let's see what we've got going on here on the power ranking side. Paul, happy to have you here. I think the dingo is about to come rap on the door. I can hear him pitter-pattering outside the door. Normally he just... Pop, 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 pop. Is it coming? I can hear him. He might be trying to get into the main bedroom. Look, so I think it's fascinating that DeJounte Murray is the #1 guy on FanDuel, and to me, not even really that close. But he didn't make the optimal, and we double paid up. Murray, #1. Kyle Anderson, Giannis, Brandon Clark, Fred VanVleet, Edwards. All 5 of those guys look very similar. And then I'll give you everybody above 15. Jokic, Brooks, Doncic, Jackson, Reggie Jackson, Gary Trent, Melton, D'Angelo Russell, Halliburton, Isaiah Roby, Şengün, and Harrison Barnes. Now we go to DK. On DraftKings. First, let's save this file. DraftKings projections in. Optimal lineup on DK. Do we get the double pay up? We do not. Melton, Brooks, Anderson, Kelly Olynyk, Brandon Clark, CJ McCollum, Isaiah Roby, Giannis. Hold on. This is great. My wife wants the Wi-Fi password for someone that's here, and I've texted her this thing 1,000 times. Give me 1 second, guys. Gotta type my password in. Done. Okay. I'm really surprised that we don't get the double pay up here and that CJ McCollum is the 8,600 dude. Like, I just assumed we would come close to a double pay up, but we don't. It's like a balanced lineup with a pay up. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Let's turn the randomness on. Let's check out the power rankings here on DraftKings. Apologies for that brief delay. We didn't get to the 100 likes yet. Are you kidding? 94? What are we doing here? I mean, I think 4 for the Grizzlies on a day like today is very realistic. Mostly because I don't, like, if it's competitive, they're going for it. This isn't a team that's just going to, like, empty the bench. Like, they want to win. They also just want to be ready down the line. I mean, 3 is, on a 10-game slate, 3 is generally the answer. Sort of depends on what you're playing, too. Number 1 play on DraftKings, not even close. That is Brandon Clark. DeAnthony Melton and Kyle Anderson are your second and third. Isaiah Roby, pretty firm fourth. And then we start getting scattered into everybody looking the same. We close it out with Yahoo. Final crunch for today. And remember, guys, we only have 4 more regular season process shows. We do not have a process show on Monday. There is no NBA basketball. Don't come looking for me. I will not be here on Monday. So we will be back again on Tuesday. Okay, what did I just do? Why did half of these guys not show up on Yahoo? So Yahoo's not doing the 7 o'clock game. They are doing the 10:30. That makes a ton of sense. All right, so Yahoo's going to look a little bit different today. Yeah. They're going to look a little bit different. So optimal lineup on Yahoo. Murray, Krejci, Melton, Barnes, Kyle Anderson, Giannis, Brandon Clark, Isaiah Roby. So there you get the double pay up with Murray and Giannis, which is what I expected it to be. The second best lineup there on DK actually gets you the double pay up, but it's Tatum instead of Giannis. Power rankings on Yahoo before we close it out for the weekend. Bada bing, bada boom. Watch is charged, always good. Real Deal Prime. Can't wait for the baseball show. Yeah, those are on their way. I don't know how much baseball I'll be doing. I'll be doing a little bit of it. Which honestly, probably what I should be working on today. But NBA will be my priority. I will do as much NBA content as possible. You'll get me on a lot of live before locks as we start moving forward. Isaiah Roby is your number one play on Yahoo today at $20. Anthony Edwards 2, DeJounte Murray 3, Kyle Anderson 4, Giannis 5. It's pretty flat after that, but Cade, Melton, Reggie Jackson, Eubanks, and Tatum round out the rest of the top 10. Boom! We are done. Closing out another work week strong. 100 likes on the dot, so we stuck the landing like Kerry Strug, but we're coming up with no broken bones. I'm just going to break the hearts of everybody else that's trying to win money today by watching this show. So thank you guys for being here. Enjoy your weekend. Contenders videos will be out in a bit, so make sure you're checking them out. I won't be able to record them until, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. So keep your eyes peeled. I am out of here, folks. Adios. This was The Process.